I should have moved SpongeBob. Hold on. Some of my destinations show errors, so it looks like
Do you have to relog in or something?
I'm trying to see if it'll let me. Nope. So my Facebook one is showing errors. That's annoying.
Yeah, because I had you loud.
Grace and peace, everybody, but it's the Facebook page.
Oh.
So it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It K Sarah Sarah. Grace and peace, everybody. Lola here with the Smoking Prophet. So jump on and do me a favor, jump on quickly. I'm not gonna be on here long. Something dropped on me this morning, and I love stickies. Like I love stickies. Like something that I'm supposed to be doing, which I won't talk about, is gonna involve like little stuff like this. But I love stickies. So I had like this thought and I was like, let me write that down for later, but then let me come on and talk about it as well. Let me come on and share. Is that Daniel?
Mm-mm. I think that's 4.
Okay. Let me come on and share and kind of go from there. I understood what you were saying. Thank you. So do me a favor as you're coming in. One, let me know that my sound is okay and that you can see me okay. If I'm having a lot of like disruptions, that'll let me know that my Wi-Fi is jacked up. Grace and peace. Thank you, Shalonda Delaney Allen. Love you and your husband. I think y'all are amazing. Thank you. I actually told my husband, I said, I think I want to try to do some painting today. Okay, thank you for letting me know you can see me and I sound good. I think I want to try to do some painting today because the truth is I haven't done any real painting since the year 2015. 2015, I did like all of these paintings. A lot of them just took me like 30 minutes to do. I did all of these paintings because I was I needed art to go in a gallery that was in Charlotte. And so I was like, oh, let me get some new artwork. And so I did all of these painting. I had reason to do it. And then I haven't really had time to do it since then. And I need to do it because like I just need to do it. I like painting. I like painting. It makes me feel actually makes me feel really good. Painting for me is like gardening and stuff like that. And my personality type, I'm a learner and I'm very, very uh, intentional with everything. So I have to push myself to do things that do not seem to serve a purpose, where I call it being productively lazy, where I am doing something that is lazy and is causing me to rest and relax my mind and not to think so much. And but where it's productive because it's helping to refresh and restore me, because everything that I read even is reading to learn. I don't read a lot of stuff for leisure. Like I got a book for the first time this year. It's called Carolina Built. And that book is about someone's real life from Carolina. And it's a kind of leisure like book for me. But then all in all, I'm still going to learn from it because it's about a woman who built a business post slavery in America. And she's from North Carolina. And so I was like, I want to read about this. So even that I'm doing this kind of semi leisurely, I'm still about to take away some stuff from it. So yeah, I got to be productively lazy. Dante, thank you for showing up down there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my message. It's time to adjust. It's time to adjust. It's time to adjust. I follow someone on Instagram. I don't have a clue who this lady is, to be honest with you. I just saw her content and I was like, I like her content. And I was like, I'm going to follow her. And so I saw a post that she did this morning. And the post reads, I'm trying to see if I can go to her page, but I can't. Okay, so I'm on a device that does not have me logged into my Lola Instagram page, which is where it is. But anyways, her name is Dr. Jen Hardy. And me sharing stuff and sharing things, it's not a personal endorsement. I have no clue who this lady is. When I share stuff, it can mean I felt what that person said at the moment. Okay. So this is Dr. Jen with 2 N's, Hardy, Hardy, and it's from Instagram. But it says when life gets stressful, we can feel torn between the urge to keep going and the urge to quit. It's easy to forget our third option, adapt. And when I read that, which I didn't tell my husband about this morning, it made me think about like something that I shared a few weeks ago on adjusting and self adjusting. Several months ago, I took a Sunday and I just spent the Sunday like clipping papers and making something for my daughter, which was like an affirmation page for her notebook, where it was just all of these different beautiful words. And I did that for her, and I self adjusted. It wasn't a part of my plan, but I self adjusted. And after that, I saw something and it inspired another word on me, like it's okay to adjust your expectations. And yes, there will be a different outcome, but different can be better. It's so hard for us to get to that though. And I was thinking about, wow, like my podcast schedule is off. Our podcasts are supposed to be coming out every 2 weeks. By the way, plug to the Smoking Profit podcast. Podcast just dropped last Sunday. Go check it out. Do me a favor. Follow us wherever you listen to podcasts, subscribe and share us. And someone just left me the most beautiful review. I think I know who it is. I'm going to message them at some point soon. But leave us reviews too. It actually helps. So I was thinking about our podcast and how this software that we use to edit our podcast had an update and it wasn't working. So it threw our podcast schedule off because we really, really needed to fix the sound on something. It threw our podcast schedule off. And so we got it done. And then I'm thinking about like this week where I recorded a whole podcast on a microphone that I know needs a pop filter. And if you don't know what a pop filter is, it's just like a piece of fabric material that's thicker than just a piece of sheet or whatever. And it goes in front of your microphone and it helps to catch the sound. And so like I forgot to record with this pop filter on this microphone, which I know needs the pop filter because it picks up all the it picks up all of those sounds and it sounds really harsh and stuff. And so I had to self-adjust on that because I did it wrong. And now I'm having to get over here and fix it. And it took a lot of time. Now, something that stops us from self-adjusting can be regret. Okay. We can feel like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? That was so dumb. Why didn't you put the pop filter on there? Now that you didn't put the pop filter on there, you're sitting here editing a 12-minute podcast. Is taking you hours to get all of these sounds out. Like, what is your problem? Why did you do this? Or it can be something bigger. You can think like, oh my gosh, why did I do that when I was in high school? Because I did that when I was in high school. Now I'm having to deal with something over here. So regret keeps us from adjusting. And you're like, why didn't you go through all of those stories? Because I wanted to show you areas of my life where I've had to adjust, and it's been for different things, something smaller to something bigger. And this morning I was thinking about how when we make decisions that lead us to regret, let us go back to the decision. I was thinking how our decisions end up making decisions for us. So if I do something today, let's say I want to buy a building. Okay. I want to buy a building. So I go to buy this building, and the building that I buy, it's wonderful. It's great. But I really didn't have plans for it. And now 10 years later, I have no plans for this building. It's sitting up and now it's becoming a cash cow for me. Now my decision that I made 10 years back is now causing my future to manifest in a way that I don't want. Okay. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about regret. I'm talking about adjusting, but I'm getting to the root of all of this. We need to adjust often in life. We need to be flexible, but something that stops us from wanting to adjust is regret. And the regret can be over the decisions that we made. Am I making sense? The regret can be over the decisions that we made because our decisions make decisions for us. If I make a choice to go out and do something, you know, why do I always think about crime when I think about the worst examples at times, you know? And that's why I'm slowing down, because I'm like, I don't want to say that. That is the most terrible example. But if I go out and I run a red light, you know, I can get pulled over by the police, or even worse, I can cause an accident. And let's say that accident is super terrible and it impacts someone's life. I could now be paying for something years later, meaning my insurance is going up for the next 5 years. And they're like, we're not covering you for anything because my decision made a decision for me. So what we have to do to get to the place of self-adjusting is forgiving ourselves for those decisions that are causing us to live in regret. I remember talking to Kimberlyn McNutt. You all can follow her on Facebook, Kimberlyn McNutt. I remember speaking with her and I was telling her something. She is a very sweet, beautiful person in real life. In real life, she's sweet and beautiful. And she's also incredibly smart and just powerful and all of that stuff, like professionally and then spiritually too. But I was talking to her and I was telling her about a decision that I made years ago. And I was like, just talking. And as I'm talking to her, she's picking up on what I'm saying and she's hearing regret and unforgiveness, but not pointed outwardly, inwardly. Where I'm saying things like, oh my gosh, that was so stupid. I don't know why I did that. And now today, like, now I'm having to deal with it today. And I made that decision freaking 5 years ago. And now I got to deal with it right now. It's so stupid. And she's hearing that. And she's like, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. So for those of us that are here listening to this message and you saw what I put up as far as the title, like it's time to self-adjust. You saw that. And then you heard me say that regret stops us from self-adjusting. Regret slows that process down. I want you to know that when we're dealing with regret, sometimes we do have to forgive other people, but all in all, that regret is an inward thing that's showing us that there's something in us that we need to forgive. Where we need to tell ourselves, hey, you call your own name. Lola, I'm sorry that I did this to you. I'm sorry that my decision from 2 years ago is causing this to happen now. Or you can say how you feel and say, like, this was dumb, but I forgive myself. It was a dumb decision, but I forgive myself. And the whole point of you doing that is so that you can get past the regret and you can adjust. Because life does not go the way we plan. We set plans, but unfortunately, the decisions of people around us will impact us. Look at what's happening in the world now. The decision that a country, and I won't even say a country, the decision that a person made is impacting the world. It's impacting the world. And that decision is going to make our decisions for the next several years. The impact is going to go beyond what we see today. Okay? So our decisions really, really matter. Now, for those of you that are on here and you're hearing what I'm saying and you're like, well, why did she say that? I'm saying that because life doesn't go as planned. You will have to self-adjust. Even if things go as you plan and as you want, the decisions that other people are making around you can impact you. Okay. They can impact you. And when that happens, you have to adjust. You have to adjust or you will get stuck. And getting stuck is not going to help you because just because you're adjusting, that's not what I want to say. Getting stuck is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. And your adjustment can be better than what you expected. It can be better than what you intended. It can be better than what you planned. You don't have to keep doing that. It's okay. But it was distracting me. I'm sorry. But it can be better than what you planned. Okay. But you got to get to the point of where you can adjust. And a lot of times we're not able to adjust because we're dealing with regret. And the regret is over decisions that we've made. And what you've got to understand is that, yes, your decisions will make decisions for you in the future. And the decision that you made 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago could be impacting something that you do now, but that doesn't mean that you need to stop and just stay stuck and stay where you are. It just means that you adjust your expectations and you move, okay? You keep going. So something that I thought about before I get into the last part is we can't tell people how to grieve. I can't tell you how to grieve. I can't tell you how to get over your past, okay? I can't tell you how long it's going to take. I can't tell you pick yourself up and dust yourself off and give yourself this much time and keep it moving. I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that you do need to just set a funeral date for the decision you made that caused you to regret whatever you regretted, so that you can get to the point, I bit my tongue, so that you can get to the point of adjusting. Set a funeral date over whatever decision you made. Set a date, a memorial, burn that thing. Set a date. Set a date that you'll grieve it. Set a date that you'll remember, this is the day I made the decision to do something different. And yes, my decision that I made years ago is impacting my future now. But guess what? The decision I made when I said today is the day that it's the funeral for that thing, and I'm no longer going to regret it, was the day that everything changed and shifted. It was the day where I was actually able to get in my head that even though the situation hasn't changed around me, my mind has changed. And I'm adjusting things in here. And because I'm adjusting things in here, it opens my world up and I can see new possibilities. Possibilities that weren't what I necessarily expected, but possibilities that can give me an outcome that was better than what it was. I was listening to this song this morning, and it's an old song. I hadn't listened to it in so long. It was on one of Lecrae's albums. I forgot which one, but the song focuses on all things working together for our good. And it focuses on Romans 8:28. That may even be the name of the song, but it goes, it's going to all work out sooner or later. Keep your head up. Things will work out in your favor. Keep your head to the sky. Keep your head to the sky. But I played that song this morning and it really, 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 really hit. You know, we hear positive words and sometimes it's like the positive words kind of become an anesthetic to us. It puts us to sleep. It puts us to sleep. We hear it and we're like, oh, okay. It's gonna all work out. And it's like, no, you need to feel what you feel. You need to be present. You need to get your head in the game. You need to be awake. You need to be in the moment so you can get your head in the game and see that there are possibilities all around you. There are possibilities all around us. I shared something this morning with my group that because I can hear things. I can hear my community. I can hear their cries. I can hear their concerns. I'm supposed to. I can feel it in my heart. And some of us, when we're told, hey, do this, our first response is what I don't have. Oh, well, you should try this. Well, I don't have it because I can't do it. You know, and or I can't do that because things are going this way. Or, you know, I can't do that because I did this a long time ago and now I got to deal with this and blah, 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 blah. It's going to take me some years. And it's like, stop talking about what you can't do. Stop talking about what you don't have. Stop focusing on why it won't work and start thinking about what you do have. Start thinking about what you can do. Start thinking about what will work, you know, start thinking about that. But guess what stops us from thinking like that? That's an adjustment mindset. That's when somebody tells me I can't do something, I'd be like, okay. On the inside, I'd be like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. On the outside, I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, thank you you've given me a lot to think about. You know, but on the inside, I'd be like, I know that things are going to work because that's an adjusted mindset. That's a mindset that says I will adjust and that it may not go as I plan, but I will adjust. But what stops us from doing that and what causes us to focus on our limits and what we perceive to be limits is regret. It's those decisions we've made that cause us to regret. Well, I can't do that because I got this going on. And if you really start digging into it and digging into your words and why you're saying what you're saying, it will cause you to realize that there is a root there that you need to dig up. For example, without going into too many details, this is the only decision. This is the only thing I can think of. Like when I was talking to Kimberly McNutt and I was having that moment and she brought that out of me. She brought it out of me that I needed to forgive myself. I was saying something to her in a moment with my words. I was saying, well, that was dumb. And she was able to go and dig out and ask questions and dig out and dig out and dig out and ask questions and probe and discover that the dumb decision that I called it was really unforgiveness, and it was regret over what I felt I had done. Okay. And so you have to be willing to sit with yourself when you're in regret. And I know it's scary, y'all. It's scary to confront the truth. It is. It's scary to confront the truth. It's scary to do it. I know from personal experience. I know. I remember the first time I had to confront the truth. God bless you, Felicia. I see you on here. Appreciate you for always showing up. And I'm just excited about what you're doing. And I'm ready to support you more than what I do now. I'm ready to support you when you start doing lives and when you start posting videos. I'm ready to support it. When you start sharing the little bougie stuff that you buy and sharing your affiliate links, I'm ready to support it. But what was I saying, babe?
When you lowered.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Kimberly McNutt and
Grace and peace to Carrie.
we were talking about Kimberly McNutt.
Yeah, I'd already gone past that though. It's all good. So I forgot what I was saying because I got distracted. And okay, Sarah. Oh, this is what I was talking about. It's scary to confront. It's scary to confront our past. It's scary to confront our feelings, really. We don't want to feel that stuff. That's why it's hard for us to dig out the root of what we're feeling and getting to regret. It's hard for us to dig that out, even when we get angry with people. Sometimes anger is rooted in unforgiveness at ourselves and regret. It is. And it's hard to go there because when I say it's hard to go there, it's hard for us to face what we're feeling because it causes us to feel again. Okay? Thank you to Carrie. She said, I came on with scary to confront. Then you saw, yeah, we don't want to face it because it causes us to feel that feeling that we buried and that we're trying to avoid. But you are brave enough to feel that feeling. You are brave enough to confront it because that's what's going to help you deal with the regret and to forgive yourself and to say, I forgive myself as often as I need to so that you can adjust. Because as I said, life requires adjustments. Things will not always work as you plan, and you've got to be able to adjust in order to have everything that you are destined to have, because all of us are destined to have great things. We're all created and wired to bloom. I love looking at plants. And I never understood why I love looking at plants. Can I see your phone? Because it's easier for me to use versus that iPad. I hate it. It's so big. But that was such a terrible thing to say on live. That was a private thought, and I said it out loud. Sorry. But I didn't understand why I like looking at nature. But a song helped me understand that. And I'm going to read the lyrics to you. A song helped me understand that. And this song is called Seasons. This is beautiful. And it's by Hillsong Worship. It's called Seasons. It says, like the frost on a rose, winter comes for us all. Oh, how nature acquaints us with the nature of patience. Like a seed in the snow, I've been buried to grow, for your promise is loyal from seed to sequoia. And a sequoia is a really big tree. I know Though the winter is long, even richer, the harvest it brings, though my waiting prolongs even greater, your promise for me like a seed, I believe that my season will come. These words are comparing seasons to the promises of God, to the promises of God. And when I heard this, it helped me to understand why I appreciate nature so much. Is because when I see nature, I see it blooming. I see it doing what it was created to do. In the same way, I've been created to bloom. I've been created to not only survive, but thrive. I've been created to live. I've been created to be successful. And when I look at plants every year, retreat and go into a place of dormancy and then come back out and bloom, I'm reminded, like, be patient. Or when I look at trees that I remember seeing as a little girl, and I'm like, man, that tree is so huge now. It's big. Like, man, I got time. It helps me to remember these things. And it helps me to understand that things will work out and that things will be okay. And that I just have to be okay with adjusting. And that what will stop, and that one thing that will stop me from adjusting is regret. And it's regret over decisions. It's regret over decisions. But that I'm brave enough to forgive myself, and I'm brave enough to confront the regret and to feel those icky feelings for the moment. Those icky feelings for the moment and move forward. I remember going to a service at a beach retreat so many years ago, and they all of a sudden switch things up on us, and they're like, we're going to do an exercise with water, and then we want you to think about stuff from your past. And I'm like, hold up, I'm not ready for that. Nobody said that we were doing that. Nobody said that we were doing that there, and I don't want to do it. And so I won't. And I shut down. I shut down because I wasn't ready. My mindset was not ready to adjust. It wasn't ready to adjust, and I shut down, and I wasn't ready, and I did not do it then. But eventually I did confront the feelings that I had towards my past. Eventually I did confront it, and it helped. It helped me adjust, and it helps me continually adjust. Okay. To Carrie Jackson, put a comment in there. It says, I don't know if this is what we're talking about, but yes, right now I'm facing a need to confront. And the scary part that kept me from confronting it was, what if I confront this and stand on it and it actually end? But I had to be reminded that the only way I could grow and others to grow is for me to confront that thing. In me, that's in me the scared. Okay. She's saying for me to confront what's in me, the scared, and the actual situation. I don't want to regret anything, and you don't have to. And the fact that you realize that shows that you're growing. The fact that you realize that shows that you're growing. And we talked about something last week. When I say we, I did a live stream last week on Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. The end of a matter is better than its beginning. And it's interesting that you say, what if I confront this and stand on it and it actually end? And how sometimes we're scared for things to end that are holding us back and that aren't as good for us, just because we're content in that position. And there are two scriptures. Philippians 4, we like to quote this scripture that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That comes from Philippians 4. But if you read before that, what the writer is talking about is being content with situations where he had enough and where he didn't have enough. And what he was saying is, I've learned that in every situation, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then I'm thinking about Proverbs, and I think it's Proverbs 1 and 32, where it says that the waywardness of fools will destroy them, or the waywardness of the simple will destroy them. And that scripture is talking about complacency. There is a difference between being content and being complacent. Being content means that you have a mindset that is ready to adjust. It means that you are flexible. Like, I don't like it here. It's ghetto, you know, but I'm going to deal with this place right now for right now because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Complacency says, I found comfort in something and I'm not moving. And even though something could be better, I've learned to work with this situation and I'm just going to stay right here. So there's a difference. And I'm proud of you for being ready to confront. And you've already done the hard part, which is realizing in yourself what you have to do. And I just pray that the Father gives you the rest in Jesus' name. Now, I'm on here doing all this talking, but this is not what I meant to do. So I'm going to wrap up here. If anybody has anything else, then go ahead and drop it and we'll go from there. The whole point I came on is because it's time to adjust. It's time to adjust. These are my notes. It's time to adjust. It's hard to adjust when you have regrets. And a lot of us have regrets over decisions that we've made. And decisions make decisions for us. So when we've made decisions in the past, then now the decision is making a decision for us in the future and we have to deal with it. Or the decisions of other people around us are making decisions for us and we have to deal with it. What is my point in saying all of that? My point in sharing that with you is to drive in this fact that we all have to be willing to adjust. Okay? Because there are things that happen in life that we didn't intend, we didn't plan, and we don't want them to happen. So we got to be willing to adjust. But it's hard to adjust when you have regret. And something that we need to deal with when it comes to regret is forgiving ourselves. Okay? Forgive yourself and dig into what you're feeling so that you can get to the root of it. And what stops us from digging into what we're feeling, the fact that we don't want to feel that feeling. Okay? It doesn't feel good. We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to be sad. We don't want to hurt. We don't. You know, it's so hard for people today to be vulnerable with other people. But it's no surprise to me because a lot of times we aren't vulnerable with ourselves. We don't look in the mirror and tell ourselves the truth because it hurts too much. But you're brave enough to deal with it. You're brave enough to deal with it. And you don't have to deal with it all in one day. You don't. You can just start like Takiri, taking that brave step of saying what she's afraid of. I've talked to you before. Let me read this comment and then I'm going to wrap up with how I got married. But Shakira Copeland says, thank you so much. The Lord has been dealing with me on this exact topic. This has been so good. I'm super happy because I didn't want to come on here. I never do. But I'm starting to be more obedient than I've been before. But when I married my husband, before we even got to the point of marrying each other, I had to tell him some hard truths. I had to tell him, I'm afraid. I've been taking you on an emotional roller coaster and saying I want to be with you and then saying that we should slow down or we should not be together because I'm really scared. I'm scared that you are going to hurt me. I'm scared that this security that I built on my own, you're going to come in and disrupt it because you're going to come into my life. I'm going to let you in here. And then, then you disrupt the security. And what do? Then I'm going to be an emotional wreck. So I had to tell him the truth. I got distracted because I'm looking at these boo-boos on my chest. My skin went crazy last year and I need to stop being so distracted. My skin went crazy last year and my arms and skin just went crazy. But I had to tell him the truth. I had to tell him the truth. And it was a scary thing, to be honest. It was a scary thing, to be honest. But because I was honest, I got from that place of where I had locked myself into this life. And I got into a new life, a better place, a better place, and it's better. So you all have courage to do that too. You have courage to be honest with yourself. You have courage to be honest with the people you love, the people that you can trust. And so I just want to pray and get off of here. So, Father, just thank you for the same thing I say all the time. Thank you for being so gracious to us. I made that face and I'm like, Lord, I'll be telling you this, but you don't get tired of hearing it. Thank you for being so gracious to us. Thank you for being so kind. Thank you for speaking to the people that are on this broadcast in their private time. You don't need to use a person to speak to them, although you will do that. You will speak through people. But Father, you speak to us individually because you made us and you know the best way to talk to us. You know our exact love language. You know what we need to hear and the way we need to hear it. You won't be too hard and you won't be too soft. You'll be perfect, Father. And I just thank you for doing that. I thank you for each and every person that's on here and how you've pierced their heart with a word that's causing love to enter in, and everything else that you did not intend to be in their hearts to just filter itself out, Father. I thank you for showing them how courageous they are, Father. And I thank you for giving them the courage to be more vulnerable with you and themselves in private, Father. I thank you for putting people around them that they can trust, that can hold their secrets, people that will see what they are feeling before they even open their mouths and speak, God. People that really care for them and will show them that they care for them. Father, I thank you for sending them people to nurture them until they're more courageous, God. And then you're going to cause them to be the very thing that they needed. You're going to cause them to be courageous for someone else and to nurture them into a place of more courage and more bravery, Father, so that life does not throw them off track and that they are completely capable of adjusting and knowing that in whatever direction they go, you're already there. Not only are you there, Father, but you're walking with them as they go. I thank you for doing that. I love you. I honor you. Oh, this is what the Lord, oh man, I just got dizzy. Sorry. I felt the weight. But this is what the Lord gave me last week, a few days ago. And he had me say it to him. I want you to say it to him too. It may sound silly, like I've never said this before. And I was like, this is weird. But God, I respect you. God, I respect you. And, we say we honor God. And I'm like, okay, I'm used to saying I honor you and all of that stuff. But he said respect. And I was like, God, I respect you. So say that to the Father. And I don't know what it's going to do because I don't have to know everything. And I don't pretend like I have all the answers. I don't. The Father created me with deficiencies. And that's another thing to be okay with. Knowing that you are not going to have all the answers. And that you are going to need other people just like you need him. Okay? So I'm out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed this message. I super appreciated giving it to you. There was a new podcast that came out on Sunday, but it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. There is a different podcast that I think would benefit you. So I'll drop the link in the comments later. But that podcast is about writing to your future self. And so I think with the topic of adjusting and regrets and forgiving ourselves and all of that stuff, I think that would work better. I don't know what that is. I think that would work better than my latest podcast. So I'll put a link down there and you can use that to learn how to write prophetic declarations and affirmations to yourself. I'm Lola with The Smoking Prophet. The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get. And we do that through a blog and a podcast. Make sure you go and check us out on thesmokingprophet.com and that you also find The Smoking Prophet podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, have the most amazing life. And thanks so much for listening. Bye.